Hello, my most amazing artists, and welcome back to week 2 of our Pop Art Onomatopoeias. Last week we learned all about pop art and the history of it. We also learned about a very famous pop artist, Andy Warhol. If you weren't able to last week, make sure you go watch our presentation so that you know exactly what pop art is and who Andy Warhol is and kind of what this project is inspired by. Also last week, we looked at a very long list of onomatopoeias. Remember, an onomatopoeia is a word that imitates the sound it is describing. So tick-tock, click-clack, click, pop, pow, so many different options. And we were to choose at least 3 that we wanted to visually illustrate. And when I say visually illustrate, we just changed each of the letters to kind of represent what that sound is or what it reminds us of. So this week you are going to choose one of those onomatopoeias that you sketched out last time, and we're going to do a final one this week. And for that, you're going to need some construction paper. So I just cut mine out into equal size squares. That will help me make sure that each of my letters is exactly the same size, because we're gonna fill up this whole entire space. So the onomatopoeia that I'm choosing is bubble, and that has 6 letters. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 squares of construction paper, and they're all the same color. And I've chosen a color that kind of reminds me of bubble. So it's like a light lavender color. I could have also done like a light blue. So try to match your colors of construction paper with your onomatopoeia as well. So for example, let's say you chose a ribbit or something like a frog, then you might want to do your letters green. If you decide to do tick-tock, then maybe your letters are yellow to represent like the gold hands on a clock. So try to think about that whenever you choose the color of construction paper that you use today as well. You will also need a pencil and a Sharpie. However, if you don't have a Sharpie, then you could use a black marker, a black colored pencil, even a black crayon would work. And just for reference, to help me out today, I do have my sketches from last week, so I can kind of just imitate what I sketched out last time. And that's all you're going to need to draw your final onomatopoeia today, so let's go ahead and get started. Alright guys, so I have my sketch in front of me, and that's going to help me remember how to draw each of my letters for my final onomatopoeia. And I have chosen bubble for my onomatopoeia, so that is the one I'm going to be drawing for my final today. And I have 6 pieces of paper here that are all cut to the same size, and they are a color that represents my onomatopoeia in some way. So by having all of our letters individual like this, it's going to be very helpful to keep them all the same size and keep them as neat as possible. So if you're able, this is the way to do it, my friends. Just cut out however many pieces of paper you need for each letter of your onomatopoeia. Make sure they're the same size, and that is going to help a lot whenever we put this final artwork together. So I'm just going to start with 1 piece of paper. And I'm going to look back at my sketch over here, and I'm going to use a pencil first, just in case I make a mistake I can erase it. Since this is our final paper, I would really like you guys to remember that little rhyme, draw it light until you get it right, because it'll be kind of hard to erase your pencil if you press down really hard. So we're just going to sketch it very lightly. Notice I'm going from almost the top to the bottom. I'm filling up the space. And to do our bubble letters, we draw the letter first normally. We just write it normally. And then on the outside of our letter, we are going to start outlining it with a curved shape. And I am going all the way down to the bottom, actually, of this piece of paper. And then we can erase that letter on the inside. We don't need that anymore. And if I remember and look over at my sketch, instead of doing semicircles inside of my V, I turned those shapes into bubbles. So I'm going to do the same for my final. Just going to draw a circle as best as I can. Do those little highlight shapes. I talked a little bit about this last time, but again, if there's something specific you want to turn your letter into and you're unsure of how to draw it, then you can get on your Chromebook, go to Google Images and type in what you're trying to draw and kind of look up some examples, or possibly go onto YouTube and there might be a how to draw video on what you want to draw. So there are a lot of options if you're unsure of how to draw something. Just do some research on your Chromebook and I'm sure you could find some good references. So I'm just gonna finish adding some more highlights to my B here, and I'll be right back to show you the next step. All right, after you get done drawing one of your letters, we are going to go over our pencil lines with Sharpie. And that is just gonna help keep our letters nice and bold. Just finished going over my pencil lines with Sharpie on my first letter, so now I'm going to move on to my next letter, which is a U, and I'm just going to lightly draw the letter U, and then I'm going to go around that letter with one line. Notice how I am filling up most of this piece of paper. Then I can go in and erase that letter on the inside because we don't need it anymore. And I'm gonna start visually illustrating this letter or transforming it into a bubble. Once you finish drawing it and all your details, we're gonna go over it in Sharpie. Here are my first two letters, and it is going to be the same exact process for every single letter of your onomatopoeia. First, draw it with pencil, add your details, then go over it with Sharpie. Make sure you fill up the whole entire paper so that our letters turn out to be the same size. I am going to go ahead and finish up my letters, and I will show you what it looks like when I'm done. Finished all of the letters of my onomatopoeia, and now I am done for the day. If you're in my face-to-face class, let's make sure that we write our name on the back of each of our letters, just to make sure that we don't lose them or get them confused with anyone else's. I forgot to tell you guys that at the beginning of this video, but go ahead, if you haven't already, write your name on your letters. And that is it for this week. Next time, we are going to start creating the background for our pop art onomatopoeia. I hope you guys had a lot of fun visually illustrating your onomatopoeia. I can't wait to see them. I know they're going to be amazing because you guys are amazing. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.